1 second. Greetings. I had bacon and eggs for breakfast. Greeting from Ibiza. Eggs and toast. It's good. We will be taking calls this segment. So if you guys have questions, write them down, keep them in mind. We're going to be taking multiple calls. I think we took at least like maybe 6 or 7 from people last week. And it was really, really powerful, really, really impactful. I want to get your guys' opinions on coronavirus and more in this segment. Wow. I just want to say this real quick, dude, before I start like looking at getting people in and things like that. Realize that before coronavirus, we had the Yellow Vest protest, the Hong Kong protest, we had protests in Iran, we had protests all over the place. And then boom, people start coughing and we're all shut inside. And now, because of the coronavirus, we're unable to have elections to depose some of these actual leaders. And it's shady. I just want to point that out. We were waking up worldwide. They couldn't have that. And I've talked about this like since we started doing this really for a couple of years, how we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of enlightenment. And social media was never designed to be used like this, to be sharing information to and waking up other people. They don't want that. How dare us? And so what better way to stop that whole evolution than to shut us indoors for an indefinite period of time, program us to just look at our phones and be reprogrammed. Sure would be a shame if the world were waking up and we just had to go into quarantine to be reprogrammed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the second segment of your Instagram Live, your Instagram Tuesday. I want to just say real quick, these types of transmissions are made possible by our exclusive members. Think about joining patreon.com/Freedom Faction. Join the operation, support us, support independent media, help get the word out. Real talk, dude. I hop up over here. I'm a real person. I do this stuff myself. I have no real, I think that's why I was tripping, because not much has really changed for me as far as like quarantine, but it's for everybody else who has the stuff, has things changing up that I freak out about. And I still go out, I still work out, I still get, social, I still do my things, but it's for everybody else that's stuck inside their house that I worry about, man. And so that's why I'm here, to be that voice for people who don't want to just quietly submit. So if you guys want to make sure this voice gets where it should be, gets the word out, does this work, does this type of information, join our exclusive membership program, patreon.com/Freedom Faction. Normally, if we did 2-hour shows, I would not make this second part available. I would give it to the exclusive members, but because we're having guests on, people joining, I think this is important for everybody to get a well-rounded view on the topics. So that's why we're doing 2-hour shows right now. That's why we're making them public for everybody. But if you guys want to support us for real, think about joining our Patreon exclusive membership program, patreon.com/Freedom Faction. Cinerambo, who's got one of them little blue check marks, says, how are you keeping yourself safe then? I'm not. See, the easiest way to say it is I'm not. I'll put it to you this way. One of the people I'm very close with works in the medical health care field. And so they're constantly exposed. I broke down where they are at in the chain of things is they're going to get the overflow of people that don't end up at the hospitals. There are reports coming out that all hospital beds may be filled by May 8th, but there's not really that many hospital beds around there. And so the person that would have exposed me to it could potentially already be exposed or already did expose me to it. Therefore, I don't want to say I have immunity, but I'm not going to sit up over here and get paranoid about not being able to communicate with people and do all types of things. I'm going to build my immune system, get me some sunlight, try to get it out of my system as fast as possible, and, distance myself from people whenever I'm really infectious. I don't know. How am I protecting myself? The simplest thing is to say I'm not. And sad truth is a lot of people are going to catch it. Are you going to have an immune system that's built strong enough to withstand it? Or are you just going to sit there and pray to God that you don't catch the flu? Teach their own is what I'm trying to say. So with that being said, let's start looking at what people are joining. People are joining. This is not about me and what I'm doing. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just trying to get this button to work. For some reason, it doesn't want to. We're going to be having people join to talk about the coronavirus either in their area, their thoughts on the coronavirus, the PSYOP, the social engineering, the martial law. We're going to be having you, the audience, on to give us your opinion. Let's get that started. Let's get Ada LaBelle on. See if she can join us on this Tuesday edition, March 24th, for our Instagram Tuesday. Morning, Ada. So, can you hear us? How are you?
I'm good. Trying to survive. Pretty much.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you? I'm fired up as always. Where are you joining us from, and what are your thoughts on the coronavirus?
Well, I'm in Orlando, Florida, and my thoughts on coronavirus is that it's man-made, pretty much, and it was kind of prophesied that this would happen, like from the sea in Wuhan, really. So, I mean, I just feel like they're just preparing for a new world order, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say that the virus is a pretext to installing the new world order, to putting in the technocracy? Would you say they're using they're weaponizing this virus more so than it's already been weaponized?
Yeah, I do, because they're gonna start giving vaccines to where everyone has to get it. You can't travel without the vaccines, and then I feel like they're gonna start promoting the mark of the beast, pretty much.
So why is it that, if you don't mind me asking, what are your thoughts on the mandatory vaccines? I would like to think that there's a way for us to have exemptions to not get. Oh, shucks. I think Ada ran up on somebody. Oh well. I think that's a good way for us to kind of pivot into other things, but you guys get what I'm saying. The virus itself being weaponized, on top of it already being weaponized, being used to introduce the technocracy and the New World Order. There has to be some type of way for us to exempt ourselves, to not receive this, but at the same time, not be affected by the social engineering and the social agendas that come with it. This is why I'm trying to tell people to take care of their health, build their immune system, don't end up in quarantine, and more. Let's get some other people into this discussion. I know you guys don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me talk forever. Let's go ahead and UFC Beast 3, I see that you're there. Thank you for sending a request. I want to get somebody else on, and then I'll get you on right after them. Let's get King Dwayne 45152. Let's get King Dwayne on, and then we'll get our next guest on. I think that's a good question. How can we avoid vaccines? Good afternoon, King Dwayne.
What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
A little bit of everything, a whole lot of nothing. How are you?
And I appreciate all the information that you put out there, man. You have one of the best informative pages on social media. Came across your information, man. I repost some of your information a lot as well, too, to keep the public informed. So I want to commend you on that, man, for doing a great job. And I know that's your purpose. That was your purpose here in life, to be able to inform people, and I appreciate that.
It is definitely a passion. I freak out whenever I'm not able to help people or have like an open discussion about real stuff. I feel like we should not let ignorance, emotional irrationality, or fear. I don't feel like that should guide our decisions. So thank you very much, Dwayne. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say, man, I just think that everything you said, you touched on a whole lot of things that is going on with the New World Order, the microchip being implanted, the vaccines, all of that. All of that has some truth. All of it has truth in it. But, it's just sad that a lot of people are going to be forced into it, and they're going to have to choose between their kids. They're going to have to choose between their jobs. They're going to have to choose between those little stimulus checks that they supposed to be putting out, and we know that there is a bigger agenda on the things that they're doing. All of these people are not being arrested. All of these Oprah houses not being raided, and Tom Hanks being arrested under having coming out. It's just bigger than that. I mean, like it's so much going on. But I said this. I believe that now you can see that the American government is not as big as you thought it possibly was, because there is no way that they can lock us all down. They're making us self-quarantine, and they do not have the manpower, the army power, the National Guards. It's just like I heard that they were bringing in other. Let me move my car. I heard that they were bringing in other military armies from out of different countries to help lock down the martial law and things like that. So
really,
it's a lot of things that are going on right before our eyes, and if people are not waking up from this right here, I don't know what's going to wake us up.
No, I agree 1,000% with you, Dwayne. I remember talking about this at the end of last week's episode, how January 1st, 2020, there was an article from the Activist Post that came out talking about how the UN is hiring English-speaking disarmament officers in New York. So you saying that right there, that we're getting other countries' militaries involved in what we have going on over here. That's actually very interesting. But I just want to point out what you were saying with government not being big enough, and how we're actually seeing that happen right now. I think if you ask me, I think that's a big thing, because you have a lot of people, socialists, communists, Democrats, Republicans, big government people, who are trying to use the government for this crisis to seize more power. I feel like this is an opportunity for us to say, you're right, government is not big enough. We need to figure out what we can do for ourselves, and we need to get them out of our lives, get them out of our pockets. What are your thoughts on that? And if you don't mind me asking, do you think there's a way for us to get exempted from vaccines? Because they're going to try to push it. But what are your thoughts on that? I know that's kind of a smattering, but sorry.
It's crazy, because like a lot of people look at it and say, okay, it's in the Bible. I look at the Bible as being allegorical. And the reason why I say this is because the Bible is based on astrology. This is a big year when it comes to the astrological calendar. This is what the Mayans predicted. The Mayans were here before the Bible even existed. The Mayans already predicted this. And the Aztecs and the Cometics, they already predicted this. The book of Revelation was written 500 years way before it was put into the Bible. So what I'm saying in so many words is that there is a lot going on, because we are not in the age of Pisces no more. The age of Pisces was the age of Jesus. Now we are in the age of Aquarius, which is the age of information. We have officially got into the age of Aquarius. And now what you're seeing is a lot of alignments with the planets. It's going to get worse this year. The stock market is definitely going to crash. I'm telling you that once Pluto is the planet of destruction. It is the planet of bringing back things that it aligns it destroys it, and then it brings it back together. But once Pluto enters into Aquarius, because we are in the age of Aquarius, we just came out of Aquarius season. We crossed over to into the age of we crossed over into Aries. We're in the season of Aries at the moment, but I think that it's just going to be very, very difficult for each and every person to make this decision. It's no ifs, it's no answers, no buts. Like, we have people like you and I And I don't know, I know you probably been in it maybe longer than me, but I used to always be one of those Bible thumping people talking about the book of Revelations when I was a kid.
I do.
And I grew into it. And as I grew older, I began to understand it and dissect the Bible, because what I wanted to do with the book of Revelations is decode it. And I have decoded it. And so what I'm saying to you is that now we are actually in that time. We are
Yes.
actually in that second. We are actually in that minute. We are actually in the hour. It's no talking about it. It's no like there is a war over in Iran or Iraq. No, it's here now. It's across the whole United States. It's across the whole planet. Everyone is going to be forced. And the planet is changing. The planet is cleansing itself. And you can see the government. You can see the changes in the government. You can see, you know, Trump fighting Hillary fighting Clinton. I mean, you know, Hillary fighting Trump back. You see all the semantics, or you see the narcissism in government. You see the bickering, the fighting amongst themselves. And what I was always told was that once you see them fighting, you know, then you know that this is about to come to the end. So it's just like it's a difficult situation. Like I say, like right now, what I'm basically doing, I am embracing what I need to do, because a lot of my family, they are not conscious. They are not woke.
And that's okay. And that's okay.
I try to share the information with them, but it's like, wow, like I may be the only one that might have to be the rebel in the family. You understand what I'm saying? I might be the only one that's, you know, I'm already prepared. I'm prepared in every fashion, every form. I've already premeditated, thought things through. If this happened or that happened, I've thought about it. So I know that when it happens, I'd rather be prepared. I'd rather see the train coming down the track so that I can make a decision on what I need to do versus not seeing it and getting caught off guard. Now that we see this train coming down the track, we only have a few months to prepare, because what they're getting ready to do, we have no clue. We are left in limbo. We are left in limbo on what's getting ready to happen, and we do not know. We're sitting on the edge of our seats, and they're the only ones that know. And then for them to come out with these stimulus packages, they talking about this new currency. They had all of this. All of this was already
prepackaged.
You don't come out with stuff like this within that time frame. And like you said, it's been what, 29 days. You don't come out with stuff like that quick. They already had this plan. They knew what was going to transpire.
Yeah. Dwayne, I vibe with everything you're saying, brother. I have so many notes written down right here that I can't get to them all right now. I love everything you're saying. You're on point. I love where your head's at. What do you want to say to the audience real quick? I want to get some other people into this call. What do you want to say to the audience to close it out?
Keep your ears open and listen to everything, and keep your eyes. Believe half of what you hear and believe everything you see. This is the time to be woke and to be aware of what's going on in the entire world. Become universal. Don't just be just listening to the news. Be universal. These Instagram pages like Freedom, please get people to add on to the add and be conscious and to keep up with the information, because the information he drops, I don't see nobody on social media dropping. And I appreciate you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your time and bringing me on your platform.
Thank you for giving us your energy, brother. Stay safe out there.
You too, my brother.
There he goes.
All right.
King Dwayne. Ooh, that's a hard act to follow. Next person that comes up better have that same level of energy. I got notes over here on so many different things I want to talk about. I could have a whole separate show, talk about the year of vision 2020 and so much more. I think a good way to kind of summarize what Dwayne was talking about in a good way is we've talked about it time and time again over here on the show. Tools of enslavement being used as tools of enlightenment, how we're going through a dramatic shift right now. But they gave us social media and all these other technological devices to filter our growth. As you said before, the Mayans, this has been talked about in time and time again, Revelations, Aztec calendars, and so much more. Where we're at is a monumental time in history. We're supposed to be stepping into a completely different phase. But because we're distracted and being guided by our phones and reprogrammed, we don't ever have a way to explain these things. It's fantastic. I have a lot of different things I want to talk about with him. Renewal, the age of Pisces, age of Aquarius, a lot of different things. But unfortunately, we have to get other people's on to talk about these types of things. Ooh, wow, we have more requests. We have, I'm actually very, very interested from this. Let's get Mr. Tech Coach LLC on. Mr. Tech Coach. I think that'd be interesting to get somebody who is technologically oriented to talk about these types of things and more.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, Mr. Tech Coach?
Hey, what's up, bro? How's everything on your end, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just wanted to chime in a little bit and one of the things that came to mind was all the CEOs stepping down within the last few months or so, and it's just like, what's really behind all of this, and the pre-packaging, and everything's just kind of like with Bill Gates and all of those videos surfacing, and it's just like, we're left in a limbo, but it's good that we know, just so that way we can just keep others informed as much as possible. With this whole 5G, I mean, there were some already saying, oh, well, since the kids are not in school or whatever, we're going to take this time to just install these, newer 5G towers. This is just like,
think about it.
Me being working in technology and working with the people in technology every single day. I fix cell phones. I do data recovery. I was just in Guanajuato in Mexico last week for a data recovery training. The vibe is very different out there than over here. Obviously there's less cases in Mexico, but
are they freaking out about
and even then,
in Mexico?
but I even then though, like over there was like 5G towers everywhere, like over here in Houston. I'm like, this is Guanajuato, Mexico. This is like, someone considered like, is not as, big as US.
Were people freaking out about coronavirus in Mexico? Or
yeah, they were, because a lot of them, they work day by day. Like if they don't make money that day, like they don't eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then they were talking about closing there's a Plaza de Tecnología, which is like a technology plaza, which is basically like a huge mall of just cell phone fixes, cell phone repair,
Right.
people that do tempered glass and all that. But like they're saying that they're going to shut down and then quarantine. And it's just like, if they don't make money, they're not going to eat. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's crazy that this is just a worldwide global impact. But I'm thinking how, like this must have been years of planning for all the economies, like all the businesses, everything. Like there's gotta
give me
be
your opinion.
more.
Give me your opinion on that then. Like being involved in tech, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on seeing that the CEO step down, seeing this whole organized agenda of a national tracking system? You don't just create that.
To be honest with you, I think a lot has to deal with just, for example, recently they were talking about 20 or 30% of the Pentagon employees that were being caught with like
child
pornography, like peer-to-peer network. I'm like, on actual government computers. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not them at home. They're at work sharing this stuff. Like,
well, that's how it works, bro.
That's gotta be it. Like that's not in the news anywhere. Nobody's talking about that.
How do you drown out discussions of dissent? How do you stop the discussion on pedophilia, organized pedophilia, child trafficking? They have all these crazy things going on.
That's one of the main reasons. That's one of the main reasons. Then the next is 5G. Like,
yes,
bro, we already have 1 gig download, bro. Like, how much faster do you need, bro? You have 1,000 megs down. What else are you downloading 8K video? And you
well, think about it.
In 30
think about
seconds,
this.
bro?
Check out. Think about this real quick, because, and this just came to me as you're talking about it. I think about all the people going inside during quarantine during this time frame. The internet's going to throttle, so of course they're going to ask for more 5G. They're gonna ask for faster downloading speed, because everybody's inside now. We all have to sit here and on Netflix. We all have to watch Amazon Prime now. Well, we need faster internet. Well, how do we get faster internet? sure would be a shame if somebody were to set up 5G while we're all in quarantine. I don't know if that made sense to you, but
Yeah.
do you get my kind of thinking? It's like they set us up to position us to actually ask for faster internet. I already saw like this morning that YouTube's going to like start throttling on some of their quality.
Yeah.
Netflix said that they're going to do it as well.
Everybody's online. They're going to be like, this is a good reason why we need more, because if this were to happen in the future, we're not going to get throttled. So
exactly.
So the masses are obviously going to be like, you know what? This is what we need. I mean, we just need 5G. 4G is not enough.
Exactly.
4G is not enough. And it's just, I had a friend that was when I was in Spain, that not recently, obviously, this was like back in September, but he was talking about how this 5G rollout is all about them being able to acquire more data on us.
Yes.
More data and more to where with this whole digital currency and this whole ID 2020, where Bill Gates is like, oh, where you're going to have an ID, it's a digital ID to see what is it that if you gotten a vaccine or not. But my friend was very interested. My bad. Very interesting that my friend was talking about where in the future, this is what they're going to want is to, because your Instagram ads and Facebook ads are different than mine. And it's like everybody's ads are different. Your For You page and your Explore page and all that is different than mine. So
yes.
What they want in the future, like you're driving down the road, you see now these digital billboards now. Where now it's like, how long do you want your advertisement on the digital billboard?
To where it's tailor-made for you.
What's after that is that because of the digital ID, now the facial recognition, now you're gonna see a different ad than what I'm gonna see.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? To where that now there's so much data that they can in real time now show you a different ad on a digital billboard than what I'm seeing. That's what's in the future, you know. But it's just crazy how all these things happening in the background, and then everybody's just talking about coronavirus, you know.
Yeah, and it's all convergent, and all we're talking about is coronavirus. But I definitely like where your head's at, Mr. Tech Guy.
Yeah.
What's something you want to close out the audience? What do you want to leave them with?
Being that using technology as the tool, and don't be the tool. You know, don't be the tool that is being used by this technology. You know, internet and technology and social media is a double-edged sword. You know, just like money can be used for good, money can be used for evil. You know, technology can be used for good, it can be used for evil. You know, they have people out here using it for both ways, and let's just all work as a collective to use it for good, and not even to be like, you know, my brand, Mr. Tech Coach, or me, Christian, you know, to gain the glory. Like, I want to put in the work where nobody's watching, where I don't even care if I get the credit. I don't even care if I do everything for good, and nobody even talk about my name. That's what I want to do, and collectively work with people to do that same thing, not for the glory of ourselves, but just for the greater good of humanity, you know. And that's really where I'm at. But appreciate you letting me on, man.
Oh, bro, I love your energy, and I love where your head's at.
Yeah, we should catch up one of these other days, man.
I'm down, bro. Shoot me a message.
All right, will do. Take care.
Thank you for coming on. There he goes, Mr. Tech Coach. Mr. Tech Coach. I love that energy. Wow. We've got time for more calls. We definitely need to hurry up and get more in. But again, you know, everything that we're talking about, tools of enslavement, being used for tools of enlightenment, that's the whole purpose here. This is why you don't really see me share cat memes or cat videos or any of that other type of stuff. Everything I put out there is meant to inspire thought, inspire action in your own life, to do a little bit more. The whole reason we do things like this is, again, to use our influence to create a platform to have these type of discussions. I don't know anything. I'll be the first to admit it. But what I do know is I need to start asking questions so I can learn more. I forget how it goes, but it's just like admitting you know nothing is the first step to wisdom. And once I learned that what I thought I knew wasn't jack squat, I started learning from you guys. I started learning from this type of work. I learned so much, and that's what it's about, man. I love Mr. Tech Coach's energy. I'm vibing with it. And I just want to say real quick too, because both callers brought this up, I feel like it's important to say this. You don't just have some random plan, some agenda queued up, ready to go within like 30 days. You don't have some world-shattering event and then just panic, panic, panic for 2 weeks, and then out of 2 weeks of panic, you come up with like a new agenda that reforms all of society. You don't do that. It's keyed up. So you gotta ask yourself, what are they wanting? Let's get another call in here. Tubular, one of our exclusive members. Heck yes, Tubular. Get in here, Tubular. Give us your opinion on the coronavirus vaccine.
Hey, what's up?
and
What's
war.
up? What's up?
What up, Tubular? How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I will personally not have my face on for personal reasons, but
I
other than that,
understand entirely.
it's good to see you. Those were some interesting calls for sure. One of the things that I wonder when it comes to everything that's happening, because like when they're spraying this stuff out there, when they're doing 5G, like doesn't it affect those people too, you know? So, or do you think they have something that helps them, I guess, in a way, not affect them?
That's what I would think. You know how some people that join the military, they get like vaccines because they have to be exposed to dangerous chemicals, hazardous environments, viruses, and things like that. They have to get a vaccine. I would figure it's the same thing for probably the chemtrail operators, the plane operators, or even people who go around and set up these towers, like these 5G towers. We posted on it, some people who actually go up and install these towers, how they have to wear like hazmat and radiation suits because they know like it's being toxic. So to answer your question, I would hope that there's some kind of, I would hope that they're giving their employees some kind of treatment, meaning that there is like a solution for these things, but we're not being shown it for some god awful reason. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And with the Bill Gates thing, man, that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you know, I don't know if some people don't believe in 9/11 conspiracies, but obviously after that Patriot Act came in, and I think with this, well, Bill Gates is saying, I think they're gonna push us to the limit, to the point where it's gonna be so bad that people are gonna actually be begging
Yes.
the government and such powerful people to help them. And because, you know, in the beginning of this whole corona thing, people were freaking out. They wiped off the stores. I mean, this stuff is real, you know? And even when you look at Revelation, like he was talking about earlier, the thing I think different with these chips and Revelation is because it's clear that these people willingly take the sign of the beast. You know what I mean? And I'm not, you know, I don't know if it's because, I don't know if it's like a allegiance thing or like a safety thing, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think we should be putting anything in our bodies in
Not at
that
all.
sort. Not at all. You should
that's
run
what we
away,
talked a lot
far,
about.
far away from that
Well, that's what we
stuff.
talked about last year is the discussion between medical tyranny and medical freedom, like with the whole I don't think it was chicken pox, but whatever was going on in New Jersey with the Orthodox Jews, to where they said it was against their religious principles to have vaccines inserted into their body. I forget like what the outbreak was, but we had that whole discussion last year between medical freedom and medical tyranny. That's where we're at right now. And I agree with you. It's going to get to a point to where you have some of these hysterical and fanatical people saying, hurry up and get me the shot. Like, think about it right now. You already have people calling the cops on other people because they saw someone cough, and they're taking these people away. Let me ask you a quick question.
Of course.
I just got a quick question for you, bro, because you see where my mindset's at. You're a part of the exclusive members chat. You know, you've been following for a while. Do you think it's irresponsible of me to get up over here and tell people that they have to resist this? Because the virus is real for sure. They can't be affected by it. But I'm trying to inspire courage and hope through civil disobedience. Do you think it's irresponsible or irresponsible of me to use my influence to do this?
I think when we look at the virus, the most important thing to realize that is it definitely has to do with 5G. It definitely has to do with our immune system. And even the young people that get it are affected by it in a bad ways, like absolutely destroying your lungs and all that. So I think it's important that we are safe, but also not giving up the right to be able to just hand them this right. And honestly, I live in New York State. The stay home laws are in, but I went out to go for a hike. I was motivated by your hikes, and so I went on a hike. But I mean, everyone's outside, so I don't know if they're just waiting for us to give them a reason, saying, "Oh, you didn't listen. Here's martial fucking law." I'm not sure what it's gonna be, or how to what extent they're trying to control this. But I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to truth, we cannot shy from it. We cannot shy from it. When it comes to things that will cost our freedom and lives, we cannot shy from it, period. So, yes, we should all continue doing, you should continue doing what you're doing, and we should all, come together, acknowledge that there's evil against us, and at the end of the day, God is on our side,
Amen. What are you, closing thoughts? What do you want to leave the audience with?
I think at the end of the day, you should stick with the scriptures. You should read the word. You should trust God. And when you look at all the crazy conspiracies, when you look at the government, when you look at the globalists and the elites and what they do to kids and the world, it will all lead to Christ. They're all doing this to reject God. And God bless you all.
God bless you, Jubiler.
Thank you, Freedom.
Thank you for
I'll
joining,
speak
bro.
with you soon.
Sounds like a plan. Stay strong out there.
Of course. Peace out.
Later. Oh, good man. Dubular. Good man. I did an exclusive member show a couple weeks ago, and Dubular was like the only person that joined, and so we bonded. It was real nice. Because I like that. I would sit, like, we have currently, like, coming up on 300 people listening right now. I would sit there and do shows for people like Dubular simply because they understand what's going on. And that's why I want you guys to join our exclusive membership program. You like these types of discussions? Imagine what we're having behind the scenes. So thank you, Dubular, for joining. This is why we do these types of things, to give people different perspectives. Let's see. Shucks, man. We're at like, what, 4 calls? I want to get maybe one more in. Maybe we can try to get, we might be able to get one more call in, because some of these calls are fantastic, man. Kid you guys not. This thing is starting to act up a little bit. So let's, man, gosh, so many people. Let's get Awakening Dawns in here. But before I jump in there and get Awakening Dawns on, so if you're listening, pay attention. I'll go to you here in a second. I just want to point this out. The reason why we have these types of shows is so you guys see where my thought process is, so you understand what's going on behind the scenes. So we look at all these different angles, so you guys have discussions in the comments and in the chats and so much more. Because as you there said, we don't know, dude. We don't know. We're kind of left here in the middle ground, wondering what's happening. And the true news, the true internet, the true marketplace of ideas is in the community. It's in the people. And that's why we do these types of things. So let's see if we can get one more call in. Awakening Dawns, we are sending you the invitation. Either sending you the invitation or like accepting the invitation that was sent. What's going on, Awakening Dawns?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fired up as always. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really love your page. I thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you do. It's great.
Well, we appreciate you joining us and being a part of the discussion. So thank you for accepting my insanity. Glad it's received nicely.
You have to be. Once you start like looking through all of this information, It's really like you have to go out and balance to remain level-headed. It's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely, I feel more crazy trying to explain this to people who have no idea what's going on, rather than trying to explain the other parts of the agenda to people that get it. I'll put it to you this way: when I was at the store the other week, there was this old Navy dude talking about looking around. I'm like in the egg section. He's like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "You don't know that there's a
Yes.
virus going on?" He's like, "What virus?" I'm like, "I don't want to sound like a crazy person in the grocery store trying to break this down to you. So I'm gonna just tell you, go look this up. This is why people are freaking out. You have yourself a nice day." So I would rather sound crazy to people that understand what's going on instead of to crazy to people who have no idea what's going on.
Right.
But
It's like, well, my uncle told me it's a great thing. He said sometimes you have to meet people where they're at,
yes,
like, or
yeah,
you'll really drive them crazy.
yeah, that's something I definitely have to. I'm working on myself. Is
Me
just
too.
yeah, leaving people where they're at is a hard thing because I'm trying to say,
It
what the hell's wrong
is.
with you? Hurry up and figure out what's happening. Get activated. Start caring. But
Hmm.
that's a different discussion for a different day. Awakening Dawns, where are you calling from, and what would you like to talk about?
New Jersey. So
New
I'm calling
Jersey.
from New Jersey. Yep. I wanted to talk about the New World Order and basically like everything taking place with that. Like I always see new cameras being put up and 5G installing, and it's just every day you can see like our liberties being stripped away.
So then,
Basically, like zoning restrictions are really tight,
have you
agenda. Hmm.
have you seen any new towers? Because we were talking about that earlier about 5G towers being installed during the quarantine out in New Jersey. Have you noticed any new towers being put up, or any new
Not really
areas
new
being cleared out?
towers, but like little cells. There's like a million of little cells
Hmm.
all over the place. And there's new cameras. There's like those big round cameras, like where they're on the bottom. So they have a view of everything.
And
All of those are new.
And
Mhm.
what's going on? I mean, I know New Jersey, I'm not sure if it's New Jersey or New York, but I think New Jersey had the National Guard activated. Do you guys have a stay in home or a shelter in place
I
order?
think that was just in Newark. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was just in like Newark area, but everywhere else, not really. People have been outside more than ever.
Yeah.
Like, so people are, you know,
And
it.
are people talking about like the virus, or talking about the towers, or talking about what's going on in society because of this? You're okay. Bad connection. Oh, it thinks like
Okay, there we go.
you're good now. You're good
That
now.
was weird. Yeah, sorry about that. Um,
You're
but
fine.
where was I leaving off?
I was just asking the question about are people talking about the virus, the social aspect of it? Are people around you saying anything about towns being shut down, schools closures, anything that's actually going on?
Basically everything like school-wise, that's all closed. They're saying they expect it to be for months.
Mhm.
So, which is crazy. Everyone that I've come in contact with, they're really against the vaccine. They're saying
Yeah.
if there's mandatory vaccines, they're not getting it.
So because there's a lot more stuff I want to talk about with like the New World Order, the vaccines, and more. This connections
Hmm.
enraging me.
Yep, it's
But
vaccines, it's 5G, chemtrails, the poisoning of the food. Like I just found out a couple weeks ago, the New Brunswick water facility guy got in trouble for lying on the water report because the levels were like way higher than they were supposed to be. So basically, they're poisoning people. This is the water you shower with, you drink, you cook. Like really think about it. It's crazy. Like it's from everywhere we look, and then everything is being digitalized like overnight. Basically,
mhm.
school online. They're giving all the computers in New Jersey to the kids are 5G.
I feel like that's ridiculous because you're literally forcing them. You're forcing them to receive the indoctrination, regardless of wherever
Yeah.
they're at. If they're either at school or at home, they're going to get that
Mhm.
indoctrination, not that teaching. You'll learn a lot more on YouTube than you will like through the indoctrination program. but they're literally making sure that regardless of whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, home, school, abroad, you're going to get that indoctrination. And I feel like that's the dangerous part about it, is because it's been
Exactly.
socialized and not privatized. It's being forced upon us. But Awakening Dawns, I have a lot of different things I wanted to get into, because you're spot on with a lot of things. But closing comments, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Just basically not to be afraid, because fear is the number one thing that weakens your immune system. So we have to focus on things that we can actually do to protect ourselves. You know, nature, self-preservation is one of nature's many aspects. So we have that right also, you know, and we have to take care of our friends, our family, and basically spread as much information as we can, meet people where they're at, keep it moving, and, you know, try and form solutions, or, you know, and work actively. It's really a lifestyle change. Every form of everything you do. Like, I get my eggs from the local farmer, you know, I'm going out trying to make a difference. You have to make a change, you know. You can't just say, oh, you know, 5G, all this stuff, and then you go into the supermarket supporting Bill Gates, you know. Like, we have we have to do our best.
Oh.
You know,
No, I know
really,
exactly
we do.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And basically, like, and coming back to, like, even like, I fight with myself. I used to, a long time ago, order off Amazon. Now I'm like, you know, I haven't purchased off there in months.
But it's the conscious change. It's that subtle conscious change where you're monitoring your behavior, monitoring your patterns, and you're saying, you know what? I'm no longer going to give my power over to Jeff Bezos. No more ordering from Amazon. You know what? I'm not going to go on Microsoft. I'm going to not give Bill Gates that power over me. No more of these types of laptops. You know what? I'm going to stop doing these things, like getting off of FedBook, getting off of Twitter, getting off of all these different things.
Your account.
So you remove that power over you. That's how it works. If you don't take the time to begin to modify your own patterns consciously, they've already won. And that's the whole problem with automating everything that's going on. But I agree with everything.
Exactly. You said it perfectly. And like what you said with critical thinking, that's the biggest, like, aspect I feel like people need to work on, because with critical thinking is self-reflection.
Yes.
And when you really reflect on yourself, you can see, you know, what things maybe you can change and, you know, do differently. But if you never self-reflect, then you just keep going and going. And I feel like really my generation now, like, I deleted my main Instagram, because all it is just a bunch of selfies and pictures of people, and they're not doing anything. You know,
that's what we're programmed to do.
Exactly. Like, maybe, okay, follow your family, or, you know, to see how they're enjoying life and, like, hiking and stuff like that. But most of everyone, they're just posting every minute of their life, and you really see how toxic it is. And, you know, I realized I was guilty of it too. So I deleted my account. It's been over maybe 2 years since I have, you know, one like that. And I'm better off for it. You know, you really realize how vain our society is. You know, we're taking pictures of ourselves every day, but what can you do? Can you make bread? Can you cook? Can you sew? Can you, you know?
Nope.
It's like, can you make a fire?
Nope.
Do you know how to garden?
Nope.
You know, there's more to life than just our phone.
This is the problem with automating our existence. We've become so dependent upon technology that we're removed from actual reality. Like I said before, being programmed by this. And their whole idea of putting us inside for two weeks to an indefinite period of time, well, this is going to be the only thing you see. Not school, not other people. You're going to be programmed. You're going to see your phone, and it's going to tell you everything, and that's going to do your reflection. That's going to be the black mirror that programs you. But I love where your energy's at. I love what you're thinking, Awakening Dawns.
And I love the same. Thank you so much. Definitely. Thank you so much. It was great.
Stay safe.
I appreciate you so much. You as well. Take care.
Oh, you are appreciated. It goes. I will put Awakening Dawns as information in the description bar below, so you guys can go follow all of these pages. Shucks, I think we might have a little less than like 8 minutes left. Oh gosh, we might be able to have like one more person on. I'm not sure. I want to get somebody else on. We have like 32 different requests right now. I want to have somebody else on, but I kind of want to use this time to close stuff out. I think what I might do is that in the comments right now, you guys can let me know what type of topics you'd like to see me discuss in the future. I'm sorry to everybody that wants to come on. This is why you guys got to get back when we do these again. I would do it live. Yeah. We will do this next Tuesday as well. 2-hour transmission, second hour where we let you guys join in. Or if you guys say that you want it in the first hour, we can do that in the first hour, and I'll have the second hour do my own thing. But I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start closing out this transmission. We had 2, 3, 4, 5 different join-ins. That's pretty good. I was going for maybe 6 or 7, but 5 is pretty good. Lots of different things talked about. But I'm very glad about what Awakening Dawn said about the consistent effort that it takes for a lifestyle change. People don't realize that the mindset I have right now has come from several years of being chastised, ignored, marginalized, called a troll, an agent, any of this other lame shit. The mindset I have right now has come from several years of recognizing that our entire generation, my generation, previous generations, that we've been programmed to not do shit. This is what I explained to you guys throughout the entirety of this, that a lot of us are not really equipped to analyze, break down, and look at everything that's going on and still be able to function like appropriately and provide solutions. We weren't really taught how to do that. We were told to take pictures of our food, look for that rainbow cat with the Pop-Tart body and the lasers shooting his eyes with AK-47s going over the rainbow. We were told to look for that. We weren't told to look at solutions. We weren't told to find storable goods. We weren't told to take care of your body. We weren't told to pray to God. We weren't told the importance of a spiritual connection. We weren't told any of this stuff. We were told get up on social media, slave over likes, slave over shares, slave over views, slave over attention. Don't focus on yourself. Don't focus on improving. Don't be actually beneficial to society or the world. No, just take pictures and be simple. People don't understand the necessary mental hurdles that I've had to go through doing all this type of stuff to provide this type of platform to do these types of things. So when I tell you that you have to have a lifestyle change, recognizing your behavioral patterns, I'm not the only one. That's how this works. When I show up here every Tuesday, that's consistent. That's what success is. A lot of people don't want to be successful. They want overnight success when they ain't really willing to do nothing. That's a problem. So when I'm trying to talk to you guys about so many different varying topics, trying to break down what's happening in your mind and in society, I'm trying to teach you how to grasp what's going on and how to fix it at the same time. You can either be a slave to what's going on, let this situation freak you the hell out, or you can begin to start fixing it, start finding solutions. So that's why you heard me ask Dubular the question, is this responsible of me to get up over here and to use my influence to tell people to fight this system? Is that irresponsible of me? I would like to not think so. But because we don't even have this discussion, people don't even care about their influence, care about the ability of their rights, of their freedoms, of their liberties. We're about to quietly go into the night, taking the government's money and just sitting inside Netflixing for an indefinite period of time. And that sounds like hell to me. That sounds like hell. So when I'm talking about these things, trying to raise awareness, trying to inspire hope in you, spark something called your humanity, it's important. I know it may not seem like it. I know the shit I do doesn't really seem like it's important, but there is a purpose to it. It's to remind you that you have more power at your disposal than you think. And if we sit here and go quietly into the night, guess what? They won. Guess what? They won without firing a single bullet, and we turned ourselves in. That's why I'm freaking out. So I'll say this because I see people over here saying, talk about Project Zephyr and all this other stuff. A lot of people really need to go back to at least a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2 months. A lot of people legit need to stop expecting me to provide answers right up off the bat. Go back and look at what we've actually done. We might have actually provided you the answers. People just don't want to look and think for themselves. This is why we do this, not only to shake your brain, stir what's going on up there, but at the same time teach you that you need to stop being so passive when it comes to your education, your growth, your future, and more. Stop being such a cuck. Stop being lazy. Don't take place. Don't engage in mental laziness. Don't be intellectually immature. Don't do these things. We're at the crossroads. And this is I'll say this and I'll close out for you guys. This is something I was trying to talk about with that last caller, with the caller before the last, about like the education system. This is my thought process. People are still going to get that indoctrination. What happens whenever like kids aren't in school, but they still get like indoctrinated to the system? Have our parents or have the parents of this generation squirreled off enough information and data to teach their kids about what's actually going on? People don't know their rights. People don't know their history. People don't know what's going on. And that's why we're repeating all these mistakes of Venezuela, of Nazi Germany, the Soviet Russia, and all this crazy shit, because we're just thinking that we're going to reinvent the wheel. My point is this: if we don't start thinking about what's actually going on and we keep accepting what's being offered to us, like Trump said, the cure is going to be worse than the disease. And as you can tell, I'm not over here trying to provide. I'm not trying to go along to get along. I'm trying to ask the hard questions because we have the keys, we have the solutions. We're just not talking about it, or we're scared to. So that's all I really got. There's a lot of different things I want to talk to you guys about. We have like 2 minutes. We have like 2 minutes or so left. I have all these notes here, and this stuff popped up here from the internet from the weekend. I'm just going to close it out saying this. This is an article title that we just put up before coming on the air a couple hours ago. It's from Natural Blaze. It says 800 medical specialists caution against the draconian measures that are being enacted in order to contain the coronavirus. If we agree to do this, we will essentially be signing our own death warrant as a country and as a generation. All I'm really trying to tell you guys is that we have to be careful about accepting that poisonous apple. I'm doing everything I can to provide you with quality information, thought-provoking stuff, and content that makes you not fucking stupid. It's the easiest way to say it. We have to fight back for what little freedoms we have. Otherwise, they'll be gone. That's what I got. So, yeah, I want to say thank you to King Dwayne, Ada, Mr. Tech Coach, Dubular, and Awakening Dawns for joining this transmission. I want to say sorry to everybody else that did not join. Maybe next week I'll just be able to shut the heck up and be able to get people on. But there will be a next week. Despite what mainstream media tells you, what Greta Thunberg tells you, or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or any of these other prophets of doom, there will be a next week, and we'll be right there with you people, going through it alongside you, trying to break it down. And that's all I really have for you guys and gals. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have it in the description bar below. And as always, guys and gals, stay vigilant. Expose lies and share truth. This is Noisera, Freedom Faction, out.